Now, the more recent deaths, we just lost a great guy, Dearth, about 4 weeks ago. Now, he passed away 4 weeks ago. My heart goes out to Marine and family. And there's been some other big names who passed away. Greg Kovacs, closer to home, he was a Canadian bodybuilder. He passed away when he was 43. So the problem is, as you look at the sport, it was once a more modest display of strength, health, and fitness. And now the amount of drugs the guys are taking in, not only bodybuilding, but pro football, wrestling. I mean, there's drugs in all sports. Let's not kid ourselves. Look at Lance Armstrong. News came out on him.
Andrew Harris of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers got tested, and he tested positive. For some banned substance. But he thought it was natural when he bought it. Like it said on the product, natural, and I guess it wasn't, because he's been suspended for 2 games. So I mean, it happens in every sport. Right.
Yeah, and it's gone off the charts now with the sport that I was involved in, bodybuilding. There's one guy on the internet who wants to remain anonymous. He says over a 16-week period he spends up to $20,000 on steroids and growth hormone. Now that's probably an extreme example. There's a lot of guys who are using a lot less, but and you know what? At the end of the day, it's harmful to your body. Because guys are dying off early. Like some of the guys don't even reach their 50th birthday. You know, so at what point? You know, I remember this survey. There was a survey done back in the 80s, and here's a question. They asked the athletes, would you, if you were given a drug, if you took that drug and you knew it would give you a championship, but it would shorten your life, would you take it? 57% said yes. So people are willing to put their health at risk just to make a name for themselves, and that's where I was at, you know, back in my 20s, and you know, I just turned my back on that, and I still train 3 times a week, try to stay fit. I write for the Christian fitness magazine, and you know, that's where I'm at right now, and just trying to do a little bit of TV and radio like this. Nice to be on the show with you today.
So the sport has changed dramatically since you...
Yeah, it really has.
How did you get into bodybuilding?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people say, well, how did you get into it? And you know what? A lot of the guys who look through the muscle magazines, the guys who get into it, they first get interested. They see the look of the guys. They want to have a piece of that sport. And for me, I wanted to reach the top. I was captivated by the pictures. Back in the late 80s and 90s, when I was at the top of my weight training, you know, Franco Santoriello was Mr. USA. Lee Haney was Mr. Olympia. That's the top spot in bodybuilding for 7 years. And Bill, were you around for the glory years of the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation? Did you watch any of that wrestling? You know, some guys liked it, some guys either hated it or loved it, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't. There was a period of time in my life, 7 years to be exact, that I didn't watch any TV. I watched it, but I mean, it wasn't real, like, I could never attain you know, I could never get to their figure. So I was like, you know, it didn't really interest me at the time. And I was just small, like I was just little, so I didn't know. You know, so.
But it took me off. You know, I was snakebitten. I looked up to guys like Jim Hellwig, who was former Mr. Georgia. He became a star. His stage name was Ultimate Warrior. So that was the physique I was looking to attain. So 3 years. You know, I was a little naive. I trained natural for 3 years. No drugs, no steroids. You know, wanted to do it by the book. And then my life got turned around. My brother passed away. I got spun upside down emotionally. And I was a Christian at the time, but I wasn't holding on to God. And I was tempted to take steroids. Took them off and on for 2.5 years. Went into a few shows. Won the Mr. Ontario heavyweight champ. Qualified to go to Mr. Canada. Now 7 months after all that happened, I'm sitting in a doctor's office. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm trying to figure out who am I? You know, I was living a lie. I was a Christian, but like taking the steroids and trying to reach the top. You know, I was trying to make a name for myself, but the only real name, the only real legacy we should be trying to promote is Christ, Jesus Christ. Because at the end of the day, you know, we're only here. We're gone. like, what, we have 80 years on this planet?
Yeah, it's a short life, you know.
You know, and but we have a chance to take this temporary pattern